And we are ready.
Welcome to the May 13th, 2026 full board meeting of Manhattan Community Board 6. My name is Sandy McKee and I'm the chair of CB6. This meeting is called to order at 7:03 p.m. Tonight we are joined by First Chair John Keller, Secretary Jerry Weinstein, District Manager Jesus Perez is joining us remotely, Assistant District Manager Brendan Berth, and Community Coordinator Brian Lafferty. As a reminder, New York State law requires all community board members who are not able to attend the meeting in person to have their cameras on and their first and last names displayed from the time the meeting is called to order until the time the meeting is adjourned. Our ground rules: do not speak until granted the floor. Please raise your hand and wait for me to recognize you. It is important that only one person speaks at a time so that members of the public watching at home can understand what is being said. Please come up to the microphone if you are recognized to speak. The chat function should not be used for CB6 business or questions about agenda topics. Members of the public, if you wish to give remarks during the public session and have not already registered by filling out a form, you can register to speak on Zoom by using the Q&A feature and posting your name, your affiliation, and what specific topic you wish to speak about. Or if you're here in person and want to speak in the public session, you need to fill out our public speaker form, which is near the sign-ins over here for the CB6 newsletter. This needs to be done by 7:15. Someone's at the door and wants in.
Brian also has.
If someone
could. Thank you so much. We're a little short staffed tonight, so we appreciate the help.
The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office, was posted online, and appears on the screen before you. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Board members, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand. Seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. Jerry, our secretary, will now conduct the roll call.
Beginning with Tanya, Aria,
Here.
right there. Kyla Fade. Seeing no Kyle. Marty Barrett. Here. LV Barroso.
Present.
Daniel Bernstein. Daniel Bernstein.
No, Daniel.
All right. Liz Burr. Jim Collins.
Yeah.
Stu Desser.
Present.
B. Disman.
Wait, he wasn't playing. He was one playing.
Maya. Robert Farfan. Barack Friedman.
Barack Obama.
Jason.
Austin.
From Wits. Eric Goldberg. Justin Goldberg. Present. Gloria Haig. Rabia Iqbal.
No, Rabia.
Paige Judge. Paige Judge.
I don't see Paige.
All right. Ripple Kakad. John Keller.
Present.
Kate Kennedy.
Present.
Kate Luanda.
Absent.
Sandra Leftoff.
Here.
Anton Milner. Here. Sandy McKee.
Present.
Alec Militek.
Present.
Rich Mintz.
Who's there?
Yeah, Rich is here.
Rich.
Yeah, he's waving.
Gotcha. Kevin O'Keefe. Reshma Patel.
Present.
Stephen Perez.
Present.
Will Perry.
I don't believe he was a planning attendant.
Mariam Ralph.
Absent.
Larry Shire.
Present.
Ann Sullivan. Sandra Sherrod,
Present.
recently admitted. Mubin Siddiqui. Mubin.
I don't see her.
Okay. Letty Simon,
Present.
Mira Thanadar, newly shorn. Mark Thompson.
Absent.
Awesome. Kat Valero. James Vera.
Present.
Jerry Weinstein. Here. Sarah Whittington
Absent.
and Shia Zhao.
Absent.
There we are.
Do you have a quorum?
Yeah, so 29.
We just made it. Not just, but it was closer than it has been for a while. Our elected officials sent in their reports ahead of time and they are compiled on the CB6 website. The link to the reports was sent out ahead of time and for your convenience can be found in the chat on Zoom or by going to our website's page for full board meetings. I will now call on each of the elected officials and government agency representatives who have RSVP so that they can take questions from CB6 members and the public about their pre-submitted reports. Each elected official or representative will be able to field questions. If there are no questions, we'll move on to the next person on our list. If an elected official has a time,
I may have not have heard it because we don't have it down, but aren't we supposed to adopt minutes first?
no, they come after the public. Okay. If an elected official has a time-sensitive matter to report on that didn't make it into their pre-submitted report, they will have time to do so. Elected officials. Borough President, Brad Seaman. Brad. Okay, we'll keep going down the list. Mackie Bentley from Congressman Dadler's office. No. Julie Rowland from Assembly Member Boris's office.
Mackey's actually
Oh, is he online?
is online.
Sorry, Julie, hold off for just a minute there.
Okay. Mackey?
Apologies, Mackie, you're so good at attending, I assumed you were here.
Sorry, I had to change last moment. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Nothing to add to the report, making this brief, but I am happy to take any questions.
Do we have any questions for Carson? Great. Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have Julie Rowland from Assembly Member Boris's office.
All right. You guys can hear me?
Yeah.
But you need to. I know.
We can hear.
It's really, it's okay. All right. All right, listen, I really don't have much to add, but you should have been ready for me to test you. So we have coming up 2 in the area covered by this community board. What do we have 2 of?
Shredding.
That's right, and what are the dates? 6 and 18. Okay, you get a t-shirt. Read the reports, okay. Next chance, what's the other thing we're offering? What else can anybody?
Notary?
Mammograms would be correct, but we did that today. That happened today and I didn't see any of you there. What the heck?
Question. I'm sorry, I was not available.
That's okay. Get out here. What was that? Get out here. Oh, that's good. Yeah, but you know, you should let them know about that. What was that?
Notary.
We do have notary services and you know what? That's fair. That is on our sheet.
It's on your
sheet.
But we're offering,
Just moving the meeting along.
yeah. Well, I thought. And this is all I have. Our t-shirts and testing, you guys. Yeah, that's true. We have legal services with NILAG. So please, you guys maybe have all you need in terms of healthcare and legal services, but spread the word. This is it. We often have room for walk-ins and leftover space, but there are people using the services, so we keep doing them. But it would be great to fill up the time. We've got lawyers coming down from Kirkland and Ellis. Like, let's make them do the pro bono work. Okay, so send people there. Who do you guys think deserved that t-shirt though? It had a couple contributions. Anyone who wants it badass? Sandy, do you want a t-shirt?
She's going to Japan.
This feels, alright, you'll need this for Japan. Alright, that's really it. just myself, but quick moment of
very
personal
nice.
privileges. I'm graduating my master's of law from Columbia on Sunday. And on Monday, I'm having a happy hour, and truly it's open to the community. So if you want to come celebrate Monday Midtown, let me know and I'll give you the details. There's truly no pressure, but I did want to send it. It's like,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for what you do and all the civic engagement here. It does take a village, and I'm just happy to be in community with you. Thank you, guys.
Next up, we have Gabe Truzzo from Assemblymember Powers' office.
Okay, well, that is a very tough act to follow, so I'm not even gonna try. I have nothing to add to the report. Any questions?
Merchandise, yeah.
Yes.
You had in your newsletter about assembly A1047,
Yes.
which is about permitting artists housing. My question there is, particularly given our housing prices,
Yeah.
it strikes me as a little bit unfair to select one profession as sort of carving it out for them. And I'm just wondering, can it be expanded? Or, I mean, what about social workers? What about public school teachers who also need affordable housing? So I'm just curious about them.
No, look, that's a totally fair question. I mean, I think, you know, we are the artistic and cultural capital of the world, and it is imperative that we stay that way. The housing crisis has led to us hemorrhaging our cultural future, and that's something that our elected officials want to address. But those are all good points, and I'm happy to bring them back to the assembly. Almost out of here. All right, yes.
How does it feel to have to answer a question rather than?
Well, that meta? Oh.
I miss you all in committee, and I'm happy to be here.
Good to have you.
All right, next up, we have Marty Zak from Councilmember Maloney's office. Yeah, his first evening with us.
Hey, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I suppose the most important thing I didn't put in the report is that I'm the newest hire in Councilwoman Maloney's office. So my name's Marty Zak, as Sandy mentioned, and I'll be covering CB6 as the community liaison and constituent service person for our staff, although we're all doing a little bit of everything. So it's a real pleasure to be here. And I'll be here on a monthly basis. And I have a physical copy of the report if anyone wants one, but otherwise I'll take any questions that anyone might have.
There was something in the report about coordinating with DSNY, about composting and textile. And I just kind of want to put a shout out there that I looked at the map of where textiling, recycling and return can happen in our district. And our district, it's everywhere in Manhattan except our district. Like, we have such a black hole there. And it used to happen at the Green Market at Dock Commercial, and it no longer does. And so I just want to kind of put that.
Great. I will take that note back. It's funny because I think what you might be referring to is an event that was not at CB6.
Yeah.
I just left in the newsletter anyway, in case it was of interest. So duly noted.
That's what-
Thank you for mentioning. Yeah.
Do we have, Kat?
I'm just gonna emphasize that we need more of those kinds of events. Tech buildup is a big number of
Right.
environmental concerns as well as.
Those events are held in partnership with the Lower East Side. I forgot what it's called.
Ecology Center.
The Ecology Center. So I think we can do those in multiple places, and I'm gonna be the event organizer in the office. So
We're all in the city, right?
yeah, but I would, if there's demand in the community, I would love to bring a textile and e-waste recycling event to this community. That's an easy thing that we would love to facilitate.
I want to thank her for her work with getting small businesses support.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's really important.
Definitely focus for us.
Great. Do we have any other questions? And just for people in CB6, you have to speak loudly. I'm not sure it's picking up everybody's voice out there. So, great. Thank you.
Great to meet everyone, and just please come introduce yourself after the meeting. Would love to meet some of the folks.
Next, we have Alexander Garcia from the District Attorney's Office.
I have nothing in particular to add to the report, but I'll just say some of this one line very quickly. We're having a gun buyback event Saturday, June 13th. Our office is in collaboration with NYPD and Central Baptist Church to hosting a gun buyback from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. 166 West 92nd Street, Central Baptist Church. So if you have any firearms that you would like to surrender, you can do so anonymously. Thank you.
Great. Any questions for the district attorney's office? Okay. Oh, Stu has his hand raised.
Hi, I'm Kevin O'Brien. District Attorney, I can't see your name, Alan Garcia.
Correct.
I'd like to know if, the park, Bellevue Park South, there are 2 cameras overlooking the park. And every time we ask for a FOIA request, we're told that these cameras are not on or not working. Are you able to find out if that's true or not, if these cameras are actually recording? They're brand new. They've been there for 3 years only.
I'm not certain. However, I will try anyways. Okay. So yeah, I can check in and see what's going on right here. And I could follow up if maybe you want to send me an email or something.
Located on 27th Street and St. Caramel's Place.
St. Caramel's, got it. Okay.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And you can always copy the office on your request and they'll make sure that
Yeah, absolutely.
you
Cheers.
get code. We have Stu next and then Marty after that. So go ahead, Stu.
Hi, you mentioned the gun buyback program and you've done that and we've heard that from your office a few times. How much does that cost? And is there any evidence that it's effective in any positive way?
I can't speak to its effectiveness in terms of like what you're talking about in particular, but however, I can let you know the amount of money we're offering. We're offering $500 for a prepaid card for an operable handgun or assault rifle, $200 for a ghost gun and 3D printed guns, and $75 for operable rifles and shotguns, and $25 for air guns or guns that do not work.
Right. So I'm asking the question though, because you're spending some amount of money and I haven't seen any research that indicates it reduces crime or gun violence in any way.
I see. Well, thank you so much for your question, Stuart. You know, I can't really give you a definitive answer right now because that's a pretty big question. However, if you're really interested in learning more, you know, you can get in touch with me and I can get you in touch with my supervisor and director and we could have a conversation about this together.
Now, could you just bring an answer to the next board meeting?
Sure. I mean, I can't anticipate your questions, but I will try.
Thank you.
Marty, you had a question?
No, in response to the cameras, when I was president of the park, we had the Phipps company put the cameras up. And since Phipps sold it to Kips Bay Court, the likelihood is that the cameras go to the security office of Phipps
Kips Bay Court.
It's not the police department.
I'm sorry, they're not the same cameras. The cameras say police department on it.
Oh, they're doing that?
Yeah, they are 3 years old since the park was redone. They're definitely the police.
Have you asked the 13 precincts?
Everybody. Quite literally.
Great, okay. We also have Wendy Brennan from Senator Kruger's office with us this evening.
Good evening. So I don't have anything to add to my report, but we were, excuse me, we were also talking about the tech, working with the Lower East Side. So Marty, my name is Wendy Brennan. I also organize events for the senator, and I'll give you a call if you're amenable tomorrow, and maybe there's something we can work on together.
Sounds great.
Great, okay. Tanya.
Yeah, hi. I actually have 2 questions. I'm gonna try to make it really fast. The $166 billion in refunds from those illegal tariffs, they're going back to the companies, and I know that it's impractical from a functionality standpoint to give that back to the actual consumers, but is there any work going on to make that any refund that is given to these companies be reflected in a drop in prices for the products? That's one question.
I'm sorry, or is that something you're asking Senator
You.
Kruger's office? Okay. I
Yes.
don't know the answer to that. I don't know if the state plays a role in this, but I will find out and I'll get back to the board office.
Yeah, because it goes back to the companies, but then what happens? The prices go down. And then the second question is on Senate Bill S 9096, which I think is a very good bill, and it was introduced in 2024. Any progress on that?
Could you state what the bill is?
Yes,
please,
the
for us,
bill
Tanya?
is to end the hedge fund control of New York Homes Act, where hedge funds come in and buy blocks of homes, especially in poor districts.
Right. I'm familiar with the issue. I don't know the answer to that, and I will get back to you with both. I will get back to the board office with both of those tomorrow or when I get the information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandy?
Yes, John, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Fred, how is the senator doing? Oh,
Yes, thank you, John.
Thank you for asking. She's doing really well. She's, introducing bills, talking to her colleagues, and we feel very grateful in the office that she's doing so well. So thanks for asking.
Great, good to hear. Thank you. Any other questions for the senator's office? Okay, and I guess, do we have anyone else, Brendan, from the borough president will be with us later, I guess? I think that's it. So has anyone signed up to, oh, sorry. Okay, you're here.
waiting.
Sorry, our list is not very complete.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm Senator Gonzalez's chief of staff, and I don't have anything additional from the report to add, but I'm happy to answer any questions. And I can talk about AI week just for fun if you guys have some extra time. I hear we're not in a rush tonight.
Well, we did have a question that we spoke to, or we had the opportunity to visit the FDR from the heliport side. And so we composed a letter that I know that the senator is looking at, and if you could just give us an update, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's on her list for tomorrow, so she'll probably look at it then. I've reviewed it and I think we're gonna sign off, but don't tell anybody.
Okay. And this was in conjunction with Assemblymember Power's office, and it's about the FDR. It's in very bad shape, and we don't get to see it because we don't take helicopters. But so we've asked for some, at least they could paint it.
Yeah.
But great.
And hopefully make sure it's safe.
Yeah. Oh, Gloria, you had a question?
Yeah, I spoke last time at the here, and I sent information to the office. She had spoken about a bill to protect our biometrics. So I'd like to know where that is I'm trying to get everyone to get on board with this, and especially the copywriting of our face and voice. This is urgent. Like, I can't even say how urgent this is. Things are moving really fast. But she mentioned some bill. I'm concerned it may not cover what I'm asking about, so I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a bill with Assemblymember Grace Lee. I think there were some, the bill language itself was adopted from a country in Europe. So their statutes were slightly different. And so we were working on aligning them with New York state law. But what this bill basically would do is say that you had a right to your likeness. And so things like deep fakes or, depictions of like your face or body would not be allowed. Yeah, or your voice, things like that. And so, yes, we are absolutely working on that. With the budget, it takes up a lot of time, and then bills tend to get introduced and move quickly afterwards. So it's definitely something that we are working on. And we have a number of other bills around biometrics and around privacy and data. One bill that we were working with was about third-party data brokers, which isn't exactly what you're talking about, but which kind of coupled together is very important. Just all of the online data and biometric data that we have, and also looking into different things about like wearable biometrics, like those meta glasses. So these are all in various different stages. I think the not in my likeness bill with Assemblymember Lee is the furthest along with these, but we are this area, we were definitely looking at what are all the different ways that we can regulate this and protect our data, our privacy, and our, you know, our sense of self, really.
I can help it all, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have your email from when you forwarded it over.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely keep you updated on the progress with that event.
And I'd like to just get on board. I've been talking to them.
Jerry has a question for you.
Yeah, a suggestion, if it hasn't already been discussed. I would like to see within the realm of technology, specifically privacy, everything flipped to opt-in.
Mm-hmm.
Once we qualify, what are points in terms of agreement,
Yeah.
meta, et cetera, we need to flip that so that people are always being asked and they're not always opting in automatically.
Absolutely, I agree, and that is a provision that we're looking at in the Privacy Act and around data brokers as well. That's a great one.
Kevin, you had a question?
Yes, actually.
Hi.
We have a resolution to vote on tonight, and then we will Mount Act, the
Mhm.
Radar Act, and the New York for All Act. Can you give us an update on where the senator is on each of those?
Absolutely, she's a co-sponsor of all of those, and is very supportive of it, and she has another immigration bill that we're working on in the budget language that would also protect children whose families were detained by ICE from being detained by ICE. So these are all things that we are really pushing hard on and hoping to see included in the budget.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The support is really important.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Next we have Benjamin Gottschalk from Assembly Member Epstein's office. Or sorry, he's not Assembly Member, he's
Yes.
Council Member, sorry.
No worries. Hi, everybody. Also just building off of that, Harvey wanted to publicly voice his support for the resolution coming out of the Public Safety and Sanitation Committee, being the passing of the New York for All Act, the Radar Act, and the Melt Act. In addition to that, we have the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month event coming up. That will be Thursday, May 31st from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Civic Hall. So make sure to come out and join. The other events that we have on this month are in the packet that is over there, as well as uploaded online if anybody would like to see. I'm also happy to take any questions if there are some. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question about intro 813 about the losing tobacco licenses. If a store is if a store is selling marijuana legally, that they can then lose their tobacco license.
Yes, that is something, or what's the question on it?
Yeah, so I guess I'm a little bit surprised because in my neighborhood, there's several stores that were illegal smoke shops and they're just shuttered. Like, so I was a little bit surprised that they're not already losing their license.
Yeah, I think it is something, at least with like DCWP, that's able to kind of address and go into it, but with this act, it was really trying to formalize it that they would be able to take that away. Oftentimes they will shut, but I think this was really trying to formalize it in.
Well, I mean, this was like
policy.
marshals coming and, seizing stuff and, changing the board club. And so, like, that's happening, but they're not losing their license, like that.
Yeah, and it does seem a little off, so I think that's also one of the reasons why this was put forward, to make sure that that is also an additional step taken. And I know it was introduced recently.
Okay. Because, like, the license, one of the questions we asked any applicant is, have you lost your license before? Are you had a license? And so it's, maybe there needs to be a broader issue, like a broader legislation there.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's a really good point. I'll make sure to bring it back to the council member. And I know this was kind of one of the first steps for enforcement against bad actors, but there's obviously always more that can be done. So that's a good point to bring back.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
Great, thank you very much. So our public session, and I believe we have two people who signed up. Are you going to announce them, Brendan?
Jesus
I will announce them. Hello, everyone. Yes, our first speaker is Mr. Edward M. Virshup, who is a resident of this district and wishes to speak on changes to the 3rd Avenue auto lanes between 24th and 26th Streets. Is this person here?
I do not see him in the room.
All right, then we'll move on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Demi Demakos, who is a graduate student at the CUNY School of Public Health, who wishes to speak to the board about a piece of legislation, Intro 0761. Demi, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You have 3 minutes to make your remarks. You may begin now.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Demi Demakos, and I am a graduate student currently at the CUNY School of Public Health who works in this community and sees firsthand how food insecurity impacts families here. I am here tonight to speak about Intro 0761. This was a bill introduced by Public Advocate Jermaine Williams that would require New York City to establish a coordinated emergency student food plan for use during school closures. So approximately 1 in 4 children in New York City experiences food insecurity. In fiscal year 24, New York City public schools served over 788,000 meals daily, meals that many students depend on as a primary source of nutrition that disappear without warning when schools close. We saw this during COVID-19. New York City had the capacity to deliver emergency meals at scale, but without a formalized plan. Coordination gaps and communication barriers left many families, particularly immigrant and non-English speaking communities, without access to available food. Intro 0761 would change that. It requires the Office of Emergency Management, in coordination with the Department of Education and Mayor's Office of Food Policy, to develop and publicly publish an emergency student food plan before the next crisis occurs. This bill is currently before the Committee on Fire and Emergency Management and needs community support to advance. So I urge this board to pass a resolution in support of Intro 0761 and join the call for the City Council to prioritize this legislation. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker on the list is Mr. Kevin O'Brien, who wishes to address the board. He is a resident of this district. Mr. O'Brien, are you here?
I am. Hi, Jesus.
Hi. You have 3 minutes to make your remarks. You may begin now.
Okay, my name's Kevin O'Brien. I live in this neighborhood. There's a couple things. One thing is this park. As a community member, several of us have gotten the okay from Neil and his group to buy shrubbery. So a couple of us threw $6,000 together and bought the shrubbery. There's no water in the park. We've been told for a month and a half that water would go on in the park. So one woman has had $6,000 worth of shrubbery on her.
What do you need?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, Larry.
I'm lost.
Mute Larry, sorry.
Anyway, this woman has had all this shrubbery on her terrace. She's actually pushing a baby cart, bringing water down to big buckets. So can someone please have the water turned on there so we don't lose this money on that? Neil, we went through a lot with the lights in the park to have them turned on. Only half the park lights are on. Older people are nervous at night. You were told that the lights were being fixed. That was back in October. Lights still have never come on. So with foliage coming through, it's going to be darker, less light. Can you please see that all of the lighting is turned on? The other thing was we had been talking about someone comes in and designs a park and then boom, they're gone. But the people that use the park every day, and especially in my park, there's a group of about 20 men between 11:30 and 2 o'clock that work out all together. And they had asked that 2 pieces of equipment be moved up closer to the pull-up bars so that they can all encourage each other to work out together. That seems like it's a really big deal when it is our community and these people are encouraging each other and helping each other out. So it'd be really nice if they were actually moved. One other problem with this park is the person that is the park supervisor, the one that was removed is now back. The one that sits in a van, plays on his phone and doesn't supervise. So I'm really hoping something like that can be taken care of. And on just one other note, this happened to me last night, which I'm still shocked by, shaken actually. 23rd Street and FDR, the on-ramp. I was walking Finney as I do every day, up and down the river. The traffic cop is telling people to go from across the off-ramp on 23rd. That means these people step on the gas, and idiot drivers from Jersey or New York, they're all trying to get on the on-ramp at the same time. This traffic cop was telling people to go, they both turned the corner, and because of the concrete pillar that is part of the wall, the water wall, whatever that thing's called, these drivers couldn't see us crossing on our crosswalk. He was hit by the license plate of that car. I was 2 inches away from that car, and a woman with a baby and a kid on a stroller, like little kid could stand on the stroller, we're right there. I was trying to explain to the traffic cop why and what should be done, and not to tell people to keep going when it's our time to walk. It's a really dangerous intersection that I understand this board already knows about, that DOT already knows about, and I was almost seriously bodily hurt. But even more importantly, he was almost killed. So I'd really like to know what will be done with this, who's going to talk to DOT, and if no one's gonna do it, I'll get to the commissioner. If you're always going to the exact same people and they're mid-level management and they're not getting anywhere, please let me know, because I'll find this commissioner and tell him something needs to be done. Because if it wasn't me, it could have been that woman and her 2 kids. Yeah, I think that's it. So, thank you. Oh, no, I'm sorry, one more thing. I've been, since the last meeting, September, Parks meeting, I brought 38 people to the meeting at 45th Street, whatever. I have been trying to get rid of 5 bikes and motorcycles that are parked on, the sidewalks. I have gone through 15 emails with community board, email from the same person. I'm just checking in, can I have the pictures again and the last location? 15 emails since September, nothing done. Now, these things are on my daily walk, so I look at them and they annoy me. They annoy me a lot. But 15 emails, I know everyone here, and thank you for volunteering, but these are a paid position and nothing's being taken care of. So I hope, Jesus, you can do something about that. 15 emails since September, asking the exact same questions, asking for the exact same pictures, and all you had to do was follow the thread down and see it all. Otherwise, have a great night. Love y'all.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else, Jesus, on our list?
No, that's it. That concludes the list.
Oh, Jason, you want to?
So I just wanted to respond about at the intersection on FDR and 23rd Street. I'm the chair of the transportation committee. We're well aware of the problems with that intersection. We've been advocating with DOT for changes there. We did a walkthrough several months with members of the Department of Transportation and the construction project over there. But it would be helpful if you could email your concerns to the board office and we could relay them again to the DOT. But we're continuing. We know that there's a lot of problems there. There's been a number of complaints from other members of the community. We're trying to help.
If I may respond to you, and I know you're just relaying messages, the big problem I have with what you just said is it's been months and months. Literally, almost killed yesterday.
Yeah,
and if I wasn't killed, I would have lost a leg or two, and I like both my legs.
I'm just agreeing.
But months and months, it's not feasible, it makes absolutely no sense, and it's not understandable. Who do I speak to? And I don't want someone mid-level. I mean, that's just a waste of time, because apparently that's what's happening now, and months and months and months more go on. I walk this every day. Every day.
Yeah, I think if you can communicate when you testify to today to the board office, we can put DOT in. And I would encourage you to reach out to DOT directly as well, but we can help facilitate that.
It just needs to be accelerated.
We do have a relationship with the commissioner, so.
I'm saying that this has been going on for months, you've known about it for months, and you have a relationship.
And unfortunately, this is our government, so we have to be, we do what we can.
Don't want to die walking across the street.
Neither do I, sir, neither do I. But let's keep on moving here. All right, the minutes from the April 8th full board meeting were distributed to board members ahead of time by the board office. If there is no objection, we will adopt the minutes as drafted. I understand that Jim would like to have his position changed to excused from absent on the minutes. It's fine, we'll do that.
I just reading over the minutes, it just seems very casual, the way we address elected officials. And for calling the council member Harvey, and I just, you know, I've known Keith Powers for probably 15, 20 years. I would never call him Keith. I would call him Assemblyman. Or, you know, when he was a councilman, I'd call him Councilman. It's not respect, it's more respect for the office than it is for the individual, you know? It strikes me wrong to refer to elected officials that way. And I'm just hoping that at least prospectively, we can be somewhat more formal in addressing their position when they're related in the minutes.
Do you feel that way just in the minutes, or if you feel?
I know, but.
No, I'm just asking. I'm trying to understand what mine is, because is it just in the minutes, or if Harvey is standing here, should I refer to him as Councilman Grass?
I wouldn't think of referring to him as Harvey.
Oh, and I would not think, because I was have respect for his office, I have respect for him as an individual. I think calling him by his first name shows no less respect than you calling me by.
Let's, I think we've heard the concerns, and it is a volunteer position, our secretary, so we do defer a little bit to their style. But I think we hear your concerns. Marty?
He's right. Minutes are official
Documents, absolutely. Okay. So if there are no objections, the minutes from the April 8th full board as amended will be adopted. They will be available soon on the CB6 website. Tanya will now give our treasurer's report.
Oh, that's the highlight of the evening. According to the Crystal Report for May 4th, 2026, CB6 is budgeted $627,663 for the fiscal year. This includes street fair money of $145,901. We have encumbered or liquidated money of $435,038.56, and it's written brought down as rent of $178,701, personal services of $237,195.64. Other than personal services, $19,141.92. Unencumbered money is $192,624.44, of which $145,901 is street fair money.
Oh, okay, and Jim was first and then Marty.
Yeah, we have a fund for the community board that we've accumulated over the years.
$140, is that the street fair money?
Yes.
Yeah, $145,901. Yeah.
Marty.
Going forward, maybe we can indicate what the street fund monies have been spent for during the current year.
Oh, like that month or the whole year?
Well, for the prior month.
For the prior month.
We should know.
We haven't spent.
Not even for the party or.
No.
Not last month.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you wanna borrow some?
We have a very good interest rate.
Suspended for the party.
No, but we paid first.
And I'm not sure.
Questions?
Yeah.
Just curiosity, how much is coming into that account as well?
Not much. It's been the same for a while. Do we know?
It comes, it's a few $1,000s every year. The amount changes slightly, but that hasn't come in for this year yet.
It's not done and it's been the same.
Okay. Great. The CB6 staff emailed the digital ballot. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Back up here a minute.
Sandy?
Oh, and
Manager report?
oh, I'm sorry, Jesus, I keep forgetting you, please.
It's fine. Hello, everyone. I'll be super quick. Forgive me for not being able to be there with you in person tonight. But just one quick housekeeping item. Full board in November. I know it's months away, but I want everyone to save the date. It is on November 18th. That is not the usual night for full board. That is the night that exec in November should be happening, but because November's full board is on the night of Veterans Day, which is a city holiday, we had to shift the date over to exec, and working with Sandy, we will reschedule exec in that month. So I'm just letting everybody know. An email was sent out a few weeks ago. So save the date. Full board in November is Wednesday, November 18th. Exec will be shifted. That date will come at a later date. If you have any questions, let us know. But other than that, I yield the floor back.
Thank you. We've now arrived at our committee reports and resolutions. Members of the public, please note that during this section of the meeting, we only recognize questions from members of the board. The CB6 staff emailed the digital ballot to all members. Please click on the link to open the ballot, select your name from the drop-down list, and select your vote on each resolution as presented. Do not submit it until later in the meeting after the final resolution has been discussed and presented. Oh, I think I've forgotten my chair's report. I'm in a rush tonight. Sorry, yes, the chair's report. So as I mentioned, we had the opportunity to visit the heliport and see the incredibly poor condition of the FDR. And I think we all know that that's something that divides our community from the waterfront, something we keep continuing to try and get a better position, a better resolution of that structure and how it blocks space. I believe the borough president is going to be coming and will talk to us about when we'll be getting our new members. I understand it may be sometime around Memorial Day, which is very soon. But so that's something I know we've all been curious about, and I think everybody's had their interview by now. I'm going to segue over to John, who attended some meetings with us.
Yeah, I attended borough board, but nothing particularly of note to report, so I was tight schedule. And I attended the Union Square Partnership last night as part of the bid. And it was very interesting in the work they've done. It's just a small slice of our district, but they revitalized the farmers market, which is a really big thing as far as I'm concerned. And they had 75% more new square footage of retail leasing last year than they did the year before, which I saw. And one of the big things they're thinking about right now that I'm sure we'll be involved in at some point is envisioning that whole corridor across 14th Street and exactly how it reaches into each of the neighborhoods. So it was very interesting, I think.
They reached out to us because they want to expand the bid. That's one of the things they'd like to do. So that's a great thing for our district. Okay, now we've arrived at our committee reports and resolutions. The CB6 staff emailed the digital ballot to all members. Please click on the link to open the ballot, select your name, and select your vote on each resolution as presented, and do not submit until after the last resolution has been discussed and presented. All right, first up, we have business affairs and licensing, Anton Mulliner. Marty.
In regards to the FDR Drive, some years ago, we voted on a plan to have the FDR Drive be a tunnel and a park come over it. So this is something that this board had approved and was for.
Marty, we keep working on it. That's all I'm gonna say. How many years ago?
Regions Community Board have taken 20 and 30 years.
Yeah.
I've seen them through. And so, maybe in 20 years, but it's something that you consider.
Turn of the century, as we keep saying, it happened, right? We keep working. It's chipping away. All right. Anton, you're up.
I'm honored that I'm first. Hasn't been for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll try to get through these real fast. 1A, resolution for sidewalk cafe 4-year license for Gramercy Kitchen. This is actually just regularizing your long-standing permanent enclosed sidewalk structure that's been there since 2007. There've been no complaints and no issues. I'd like to hear a motion to accept this resolution.
All right, if there's no objection, we'll now vote on the resolution. Please mark your digital ballots. Are we bundling some of these, Anton?
Actually, B is 3 resolutions.
Okay.
That we looked at. for one, the Gem Saloon. Okay, the B, we had three separate applications from Gem Saloon. One for a sidewalk cafe on 27th Street, one for a sidewalk cafe on Third Avenue, and one, what was the subject? One for roadway cafe, 7th Street. Long time business. The one of the structures on 27th Street is like the Gramercy Kitchen. It's been a long time structure, it's been there for many years, and this is just regularizing that structure. Otherwise, we had no issues, no complaints, and I would ask that this resolution be passed as well.
If there's no objection, we'll now vote on the resolution. Please mark your ballot.
Okay. O1C, this is two applications, again, one resolution. Alteration for wine, beer and cider from Mel's Point, doing business as Suparavi at 245 East 15th Street, and a class change for an on-premises liquor license, same station. They are taking over the adjacent storefront. They're gonna move the bar to that storefront, reconfiguring the city, and as well as asking for an upgrade to full liquor license. They've been there for more years, and I have not seen any complaints from them. We have not had any issues in improving this resolution, which encompasses the alteration and class change.
Can you speak a little louder? Thank you.
Okay, you want to vote on each of these separately versus all together?
This is one resolution for two applications.
I know, that's fantastic. I'm just asking if we can't put more of them together. No, where you want to go through each one that's on the list.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know,
all right.
on the order it came, you know, some for alteration, then a full
Yeah.
liquor, then an office.
We just-
Otherwise, I try to bundle them as best I can.
Okay, please vote. Please submit your vote for this application.
Okay, 1D. Essentially, one owner is buying out another owner, no issues, no complaints for Columbus Restaurant Incorporation, doing business as Cooperstown Restaurant on First Avenue. Do I hear a resolution, no objection? Seconded.
All right,
1E, resolution, no objection for an alteration for Anatolia Taverna at 1066 Second Avenue. This is to add a roadway cafe, which was DOT approved some time ago, to serve liquor on the roadway cafe. Again, no complaints on Anatolia authorities. And their actual structure on the roadway meets DOT approval. I pass it every day. They're on my block. So I hear resolution, no objection.
so yeah, let's just keep going. We'll vote on all of these at the end.
Okay, another alteration for 44 Court, doing business is Barfly. Again, and sidewalk seating to the liquor license. DOT approval already obtained for the sidewalk cafe. G, resolution, no objection, same tune, alteration for liquor license. To add sidewalk seating to the liquor license, again, DOT approval already obtained. H, resolution, no objection for new application, temporary retail permit for Artemis at 853rd Avenue. This is a new restaurant, which will open, hopefully they say at the end of the summer. They've taken over a huge space on Third Avenue. Wish them the best of luck. We have no issues with that. The operators seem to be experienced restaurateurs. HI. Another new application for an LLC doing business as Bar Enzo. Many of you are familiar with the owners of the Grace of Crafts on 54th Street. These same people will be opening up a similar type enterprise, coffee shop by day, bar by night. we have not received any complaints or issues regarding the grades of crafts, and I would assume that they know how to operate their restaurants. That they will be opening, at, 1073 First Avenue, which is between Boone's, fried chicken and Boone's ice cream shop, when it comes to any of that area. New application, temporary retail permit for on-premises liquor license for Host 367 doing business to be determined at 367 Third Avenue. This is a very minor change in the application. It was amended. When this originally went through, the applicant was going to acquire the assets of the prior tenant as originally intended. We will now enter a new lease directly with the landlord. Technical change only, no issues there. Now, K, resolution of no objection for renewal of a cannabis retail dispensary license for Blue. They did submit a community impact plan. Very generic, it didn't have the detailed objectives and timelines, nonetheless, principals promised to rework the CIP to include measures, goals, and objectives, which will be sent to the board office. Other than that, they seem to be running a good business, no issues in terms of complaints. Resolution with no comment for renewal of a cannabis retail dispensary license for Organic Leaf at 9977 Second Avenue. We received a community impact statement plan less than 3 hours before the meeting, and nobody had a chance to review it. No representative showed up to discuss the establishment, and so the committee felt that without information, no representative available, we could not make a decision one way or the other. Now, we do have a timeline that we have to adhere to, and given that, there were no community complaints, and from all outward appearances, the dispensary seems to be operating and complying with OCM requirements. However, we can't make a decision, so we said no comment. Okay.
Okay, any questions? Great, all right, please vote on, please mark your digital ballot and vote on these resolutions.
I have 42 more to go.
Boom.
Okay. My report, we discussed the intro 0655-2026, expanding access to roadway and sidewalk cafe. We didn't come to a decision, but at least we got it out there. We're good. Material, still drafting the handbook for business and fairs and vice committee members. Other than that.
Okay.
It took 10 minutes.
Rashma.
I mean, I want to know, if the Flintstone, business that cannabis business we did not approve. Still functions, this one, right, the lease, didn't come with the meeting. So why are we even reviewing cannabis licenses if the state's not even considering us and not paying attention to it?
Yeah, so that sounds like.
And as I told you, I've been like stalking the governor on this issue, and I've gotten no response.
It's an issue that we've also addressed with the SLA applicants. That's why you never see renewals here, because they're automatic. No matter what the issue.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a waste of our time then.
The thing is, it's our only opportunity to have a say one way or the other, and for many of these, there's community support or not. There's a community objection, and it's a way to register that. There's no other way to register it, so. Yeah. All right, let's, land use and waterfront, or land use, waterfront and landmarks. Oh, sorry, Anton.
And I did attend the meeting of the Cannabis Control Board a couple weeks ago. And basically we could see a terrific amount of frustration from the general public, from license holders, from license applicants. The Cannabis Control Board really hasn't got its act together.
Yeah, the system's not working well for anyone.
What's even more ironic, and it's because it's on the corner of my house as I walk past it every day. I don't think I've ever seen more than one person in Flintstone, and now they're standing on the corners giving out,
We've already brought that thing.
yeah, they're giving out, information to bring in business. I'm not sure they're gonna make it there.
And
And it's fine,
It's,
but the
that's,
problem is they took away my hallmarks.
well, as we know, and we tried,
Yeah,
we
and
tried, we,
also been advertising on kiosks.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is against the rules.
apparently it's not, so.
No, it is.
Well, it
It's
is.
against, it's not against DOT rules,
It's
it's
against
against
cannabis.
OCM.
Cannabis rules. There you
And-
go.
And we asked specifically at that meeting, we asked the rep from OCM, and she was like, oh, we're gonna follow up on that, and crickets.
Okay, all right. Maya,
So for land use, the first one we have is a resolution, no objection for an application by the 48th Street Restaurant Associates for an open air cafe and design changes to the plaza. There currently already exists an open air cafe for the restaurant that's there. But this is a part of, there's a parking structure underneath the Pops and the roof is deteriorating. And so they're going to replace the roof anyways. They saw this as a great opportunity to redesign the plaza from the 80s. And to bring in all the new standards that we have. So we're really excited about this one. And yeah,
Does that reduce the amount of space for the public to use? Because the pops pops are given for the building to have more height or something.
Yeah.
More far.
yes. So this is under the maximum that they're allowed to have a sidewalk cafe within the Pops. But they have certain structures pre the ADA requirements that are not accessible to everyone, so they're lowering that, so it is increasing the public accessibility area.
are there any questions? All right.
The second one is supporting a certificate of appropriateness application for roof repairs and facade restoration on 134 East 36th Street. That's part of the Murray Hill Extension Historic District. There was some emergency repair work that was done from a previous owner, and then the new owner found the bad condition of the building, and so they put in like the rods to stabilize the building, and there's these like stars there, that you've probably seen on other buildings. Originally, it was brick from the original building of the townhomes. The current owner would like to put a brownstone to continue the front facade. If you have any questions, yes, Marty?
But by what they're doing, they're changing what the design is by getting rid of the stars.
So the stars is not original, that was a part of the emergency. Yeah, but that was approved by Landmarks because it was emergency work, but they're asking to kind of beautify it.
Cover the brick.
Okay, I guess we're bundling, we're not voting on these individually, but please feel free to go ahead and vote on both of these resolutions since there has been no discussion.
And then the next one is so that Landmarks is now with the Land Use and Waterfront Committee, we decided to create some kind of structure for people to bring landmarking requests and how the how the committee reviews them and looks at them, so we can have continuity across the different ones that come across the committee over time. But this is kind of a general outline that we discussed in committee. If anybody has any questions on that, it's Marty, my number one fan.
This is apropos for new applications, but not necessarily for
Like the
changes.
certificate of
And change, you'll find that the changes are like 10-1 or maybe 20-1 in regards to new applications.
Yeah, so this is
Are you
a.
going to do something for that?
Yeah, this is a starting point. Shreya, who's not here, a member of our community board, she gave a great presentation about landmarking, and so that's where we derived a lot of this initial information for this procedure, but it's duly noted, we can get one for appropriate actors. And then lastly, we had one from the floor. Usually this would go to housing, and Alex committee has on homelessness, but that is after the school board, and we wanted to get this passed at the school board, which is why it came to Cleveland Landmarks. So the main chance is a homeless shelter that's technically in CB5, but we were asked by CB5 to comment on this so we can write a joint letter together and send it to the city. As we know, the 30th Street Men's Homeless Shelter has been shuttered in our district, and this one is literally across the street from our district and certainly services members of our community, our community. And we're basically asking the city to not do this. And this is a stopgap as far as this is one shelter, and we are, and Alec, I'm sure, is going to have a larger, more robust plan to discuss like the closing of shelters and hopefully the opening of shelters within our community. But this is for one specific thing that's specific. That's part of it.
I'm glad that we're doing it in conjunction with 5, because that would have been my first question. There should be a whereas that this is in conjunction with 5.
Would you like to add?
We didn't mention that the city wanted to close them for not living up to the contract. They tried to do this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And reports said, or you have to let them continue on the contract.
Yeah, so this is like a non-renewal of their contract. Yes.
How large is it?
I think it's not at full capacity,
I'm sorry,
but
could you guys repeat that one louder, please?
yeah,
The
how
size,
large
yeah.
the shelter is, it's not at full capacity
And
currently.
it's actually not a shelter, it's a drop-in center.
So
And
meals.
So meals.
Their fares, not beds.
their chairs not bad, that's was the
One of the
complaint.
issues of why the city wants to shut it.
Yeah.
And then we're ready to vote if there's none.
Jim has a
If there are more questions.
Jim?
I think as I mentioned in the meeting, I looked through there and I just looked at their, earlier this year. Most of the money for this organization and change, very little of it is going to assist the people who are in need. Very, very small amount. A lot of it's going to rent, a lot of it's going to executive salaries, et cetera, et cetera. So while I understand there's a need for a stopgap measure. I'm gonna abstain now, but I think going forward, I think we need to alert elected officials that, we're giving this group something like $3 million. A lot of it going towards rent, salaries.
And Jim, is this public accessible, this is,
990.
it's publicly accessible information?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, I will say that this is a stopgap resolution that we're looking at, and we are committed to finding like a more robust solution within our community.
Not an effective use of taxpayers.
Yeah, and I think it's something that we should look at as far as like our community district is a lot more expensive to pay rent for a homeless shelter than versus others, but that has to be the patient services centers, but we need to discuss on ways to.
We voted on this yet?
Not yet, we're ready to vote though.
Just one other thing, when you do your report,
Yeah.
Do we have any comments on this resolution, Jason?
Support the resolution. I just wanted to say, I think it's great that we're asking for more homeless services on our community. If you look at other community boards, many of them are asking for the opposite. And it's just something that I think we've got to see.
And I should have mentioned that the 30th Street, the city has planned to relocate it 10 blocks south of our district in CB3, but there is some court litigation going on with that, which puts even more pressure on us to try to preserve ones that are close to us.
And Letty has her hand raised.
Yes, Letty.
It's just a question. Do you think it would help that we put an address in for the center?
An address.
Yeah.
Sure, we can add that to the title.
So that, and you might want to reference it's across the street, but I think it would be good to put an address in. Thank you.
DHS doesn't like us to do that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Privacy, I guess, okay, thank you. All right, we're ready to vote on these resolutions. Please go ahead and mark a digital ballot.
And then for my
Mhm.
report, yep, we just have a lot of landmark things coming next month. I think they were previously discussed when landmarks was with the Parks Committee with Neil. So if you want to learn more about that, go check out the YouTube. And then we'll be ready to discuss and. Oh, yes, sir.
Read recently that the Tasty Labs, facility up in Harlem is vacant. Basically, it's stood vacant for quite some time. And something like 1/3 of the city's lab space is vacant as well. and a lot of the venture capital that goes into these biosciences is leaving the city. And I'm just wondering if we have, given Spark Center and what have you, do we have a fallback position for the use of that facility, assuming it gets built, given the market conditions?
We definitely look into it. We can look into it. We think we're ready.
And I will say it's zoned for labs. So it's, we, at the time, we asked if it couldn't be used for housing, if it was not going to be used for labs. And that is, they'd have to rezone it again. So they sort of tied it up very, very completely. We have our borough president here with us. So, yes, Brad Hoylman Siegel is here. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, not at all. No, it was a great discussion. Thank you for that. And, did want to at first, to echo Jason, thank you for your resolution on Main Chance. And that's right. There are a lot of community boards, not just in Manhattan, but across the city that want fewer homeless shelters. And the fact that you're raising this conversation is very important along with CD5. Brad Hoylman Siegel, your Manhattan Borough President, just stopping by to say hello. And we've had some good borough board meetings and district service cabinet meetings. And I just wanted to thank your chair and your district manager for all your participation and support in that regard. One of the things, as we're in the middle, and this is Eve, who's my colleague, who's filling in for Braca, who's not doing well, actually brought an illness to the office that my 8-year-old brought to our home. So I'm blaming Lucy. I'm fine. I'm absolutely healthy. But other people are dropping like flies at the VP's office. Make it a busy signal if you call. It's that bad. But no, I'm completely healthy. I made everyone else sick. But I wanted to just mention, we are in the throes of our community board appointment process, and thank you everyone who reapplied and for participating and encouraging your neighbors. We had about 800 applications and many in this district. So thank you for supporting that effort. I will say this, one of the things, and I spoke with Sandra about, is we really want to get uniform attendance policies across the boards. Because one of the things we're looking at in terms of reappointment is actually, who shows up, who provides quorum, who participates. That's kind of a base level requirement for community board, and it's probably the most objective standard that we can use in our reappointment process. So we want to figure out how community boards are evaluating their absences, whether they're excused or not, what counts as excused, are people contributing to quorum, et cetera. So we'll be working that at borough board. A couple of other things I wanted to mention. Oh, and in terms of community board appointment process, as I said, we're in the last part of the process. As you all know, we've had our interviews. We had an independent panel of nonprofit experts review the first tranche of applications. Then our community assistant unit reviewed and looked at participation and impact and evaluated the applications from that perspective. And then we had our group interviews, and now we're in the final throes. We should have community board appointments announced, I hope, by the end of next week. The reason it's slower than in previous years, thank you. We had an empty council seat and community board, community board 4 and 5, council district 3, which has just been filled. And the member, I think, was sworn in yesterday, Carl Wilson. So we wanted to make sure that he was able to participate in the nomination process. Couple of other things. Today I was at a press conference regarding NYU Langone. You may have read that they had their private medical records for transgender use subpoenaed by a U.S. attorney in northern Texas. I know. And so we're talking, private medical records of young people. It really is abominable, to say the least. I actually had passed a law in Albany anticipating this moment. called the Transgender Youth Shield Law. And what it does is protects those young people's medical records from incursion by other states. However, this is a federal incursion, so we have fewer tools in our toolkit because this was a state law, not a federal law. But it does give us 30 more days, in particular for the New York State Attorney General Tish James to respond and hopefully slow down this process. I know NYU, is dealing with something that is really difficult, but you have to draw the line somewhere, right? Particularly around patients' personal medical records. And if it's not trans kids, who's next?
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. So I'm confident that the New York State Attorney General is going to fight like hell to protect those records. Happy to answer some questions, but do you want me to finish or?
No, go
jump in
ahead.
right-
I'm
Okay,
just in shock.
I see this.
A little bit of shock.
No, I see this. This is something that I wanted to elevate tonight, which is our Manhattan Borough President Flash Grants for nonprofit organizations. If you know someone or you yourself have a nonprofit organization, you can apply for grants up to $20,000. You can click on this link or this QR code and get more information. There are some requirements, as you might imagine, but it's a good way to support nonprofits at this point in time when I know a lot of budgets have been cut due to the state and city budgets. Also wanted to mention our volunteer corps that is well underway. I built on something that my predecessor, Mark Levine, had started. And we have over 500 Manhattanites signed up to volunteer. I know this is a group that volunteers a lot, so maybe you're not the best audience, but you may know people who want to, for example, work with Big Apple Greeters. I don't know if you've heard of that organization, but it's actually started by Manhattan Borough President Ruth Messenger some years back. And they serve as civic welcome teams. And we want to get folks lined up for the World Cup as we have a lot of visitors, of course, during that time. So look for that. And then I won't take too much time, but wanted to let you know that the Manhattan City Council delegation met in my office under the auspices of one of your council members, Virginia Maloney. And we're talking about ways that we can work in conjunction with each other, including more support for community boards. And then I'll mention that we had a press conference about Penn Station. I know that's an issue of concern for all of us, busiest train hub in the Western Hemisphere. Donald Trump has named Andy Byford, I'm sure you know, a man that many of us could trust during his role as train daddy at the MTA. But now he's working, he didn't like working for Andrew Cuomo. I don't know how he likes working for Donald Trump, but he's been doing a really good job in engaging the elected officials who represent the neighborhood and the community boards. That said, the RFP, the request for proposals for the redevelopment of Penn Station, is down to 3 bidders. We know who those are, but we don't know what the standards are in the RFP. We've seen nothing in the RFP, which is outside of normal practice for Amtrak. And we know that Trump, according to the New York Post, has been meeting with some of the bidders privately, which is way out of line for ethics procurement laws of the federal government. So Congressman Nadler and the elected officials. Yeah. He's gonna put his gold-plated thumb on the scales of this bidding process, and we gotta get prepared for it. And then finally, my office is gonna be opening an immigrant welcome center at our Northern Manhattan office. We've been having monthly convenings with immigration advocates. The community boards have always been invited to those. And it's gonna be, we hope, a single intake point for some individuals who need resources or concerned about their immigration status. We're looking for attorneys and other resources and want to learn more about the rights that we hold sacrosanct, at least in New York State. So stay tuned for when that office will be open. And final thing, I testified at the city council in front of the Cultural Affairs Committee on an effort that the city council is pursuing, to recognize the importance of the draft rights of 1863. A very important moment in our civil rights history, which has no placemaking, and I know you now have a landmarks committee, a committee that deals with landmarks, but our borough historian, whose name is Harold Holzer, is a Lincoln scholar and is very interested in this issue, and we hope to work with the city council on getting some recognition of those sites, including an orphanage that at that time was burned down by the draft riders, which had hundreds of Black young people in it. Thankfully, everyone was saved as far as we know, but hundreds died in the draft riots. Most of them were victims of lynchings and other racist acts. So stay tuned for that. That should be a moment to recognize a very important time in Manhattan history. Harold Holzer, just so you know, has written over 50 books on Abraham Lincoln, and he's the head of the Roosevelt House at Hunter College. So happy to take any questions that you might have, but don't want to delay you too much. Jerry.
Just a quickie. There's a conflict. Is under the Attorney General, are they mandating that the hospitals continue gender affirming care despite this indictment?
Yes. Yes, they have, the Attorney General has written to all the hospitals that have suspended gender affirming care, reminding them of their obligations under state law. Another bill that I passed called the Gender Expression Non-Discrimination Act, which requires this type of services to trans and to every individual. But that's obviously an issue of federal and state conflict of laws, so we'll see what happens there.
Tanya?
Hi, how do you reconcile this request for medical records with HIPAA?
It's a very good point. I'm sure that'll be one of the
I mean, it
state attorney general's arguments.
absolutely it violates HIPAA.
I would think so.
Anne had a question?
So I'm shocked by how little is known about the draft riot.
Yeah.
And I literally live on the block where they started, where the office was. And I think more should be known about it, but I know I read something, goodness, maybe, about how much money they were talking about, like millions of dollars to do a study of where plaques should be and what they should say. And it just seemed to me at a time, as much as I really think we should all know more about this. It was like, how would you spend that much money on researching this? So
Good question. We'll see what's in the budget for that. I know that they did have a resolution in connection with an expenditure to determine where the plaque should be located. We were thinking of, something a little more, I guess, simple, like a Google map, and some sort of trail of markers that you could access on a phone. But I do think placemaking in person is also important, but yeah.
And it's right by the UN. It seems all the more important to have to remember, okay, the history of this. The same way like Tudor City, no windows because it's meatpacking, right? Like, it's really important to keep that history, but there's a budget for that.
Yeah, no, I'll look at that. I'm not aware of that.
Stephen had a question?
Apparently we still don't have a liaison from the mayor's office. Is that something you could help with, or do you know anything about this kind of?
Who doesn't?
The CB6.
Oh.
We don't, I mean, the mayor's office used to actually attend, they had a representative attend our meetings, and it was very helpful. It was great to have.
Their CAU unit has not been sending people to
No.
community boards. It's the first I've heard. I will follow up with that. Thank you.
Kevin and.
Our remaining vote tonight is for the support of New York for All.
Thank you.
HELP Act. And Radar Act. You may count on your spoken support.
100%. I co-sponsored those bills, and actually wrote, the bill on, not New York for All, but the bill that would provide legal counsel to undocumented individuals seeking, to stay in New York. But yes, thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Eric has a question.
Sure.
Hi.
Hello.
We go
We're
way
in the
back.
waterfront at Waterside Plaza.
Yeah.
And as you well know, the east side has a ton of parking that should be parks. And it's been going on for 10, 15, 20 years. And it's just such a super slow process and it's painful every time you walk down the East River and you see under the FDR Drive, just parking lot after parking lot. And it's just, make mention again while you're here, that that's space that we'd love.
Has the board passed a resolution on that?
Oh, yes.
Let's pull up that resolution and let's follow up.
Yeah.
Okay, I was not aware that there was a resolution.
Yeah.
But I
And-
share your, I observed that, and when I was state senator for this neighborhood, that was an issue then. I will revisit.
And actually, the borough president joined us at the heliport and saw what horrible condition the FDR is in.
Yes.
And how difficult it is to even get to the heliport and how nasty. So
Yeah, what did you think about those?
they're fantastic.
The electric
The electric,
chopper?
there was a short takeoff and land.
Yeah.
Flipping, anyway,
Yeah.
it was very interesting.
Yeah, I'd never get more.
It's very tiny.
I had one once, never again.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, so we've written a
They're
letter.
quiet.
Yeah.
Sounded like somebody described it as the noise of a butterfly.
Oh, but we have written a letter about the FDR, which I think we've approached you to sign on as well.
Oh,
if you're
okay,
interested.
fantastic. I would love to sign on.
Great,
We will make sure that we get it.
thank you. Jason, sorry, last question.
I just
Good luck on the marathon.
Thank you, have marathon. Brooklyn half.
I was ill advised by my team.
Okay. I did the group interviews for community board reappointment. It was very nice to have new prompts. They had been unchanged for many years. I thought these new prompts were much more engaging and relevant.
Good.
And I'm not just buttering you up because I'm up for reappointment.
No. Well, let me say this, we have to get this right because next year we're gonna have major turnover.
Yeah.
And so we want to get everything in place in terms of the interviews and, there's a question like, should the interviews, some of my predecessors did one-on-one interviews, Gail started with group interviews and Mark followed and I followed too. And so we're figuring it out as we go along with that. Really appreciate it. And I'll take that back.
We have 11 new members this year, so we may not have as big a turnover because we keep losing our long-term members.
Yeah, I know. I was never, for the record, I opposed term limits for community board members.
Marty, it's our last question.
Is there any movement to reverse that?
Term limits?
Yes, because it makes no sense whatsoever.
Do you know what it would take?
We'll have. Why not,
I'd like
we're
to
gonna
think
have
so.
20 new members.
I would
Half the
like,
board next
I
year.
would like to think so, I'd like to think it would be revisited, but I'd like to also think that, term limits for city council members would be revisited. Because, as it's been said many times, they just figure out where the restroom is and then they're out the door. It's difficult. Term limits are very popular in ballot, on ballot measures. So that's what
Maybe we
we're.
can have it in Congress. Can you work on that? Senate, and, yeah.
Yeah.
Supreme
Yeah.
Court.
How about half terms for the current president?
Yay.
I'm gonna look forward to.
Great, all right,
Parliament.
thank you, I think that was.
Thank you. It's great to see you soon.
So much. All right, next up, we have public safety and sanitation. Is Stu leading that or Kevin?
Thanks. So first is a resolution that Kevin's been teasing through the meeting that aims to promote lawful and disciplined conduct by law enforcement officers, particularly those employed by their current administration. So Kevin will elaborate.
Or answer questions. I think he teed it up.
Do we have any
When's
questions?
your flight? Ben? That's the important thing.
1:30.
1:30, okay, any questions? Again, this is the New York For All Act, the MELT Act, and the Radar Act. If you're not familiar, I can fill you in, or Stu can fill you in. But you just saw a state senator a city council member and a borough president all support this resolution. Thank you for that.
Are they close? Should we be calling?
Are they?
Apart from the resolution, are they close or do they have enough votes to pass these three measures?
Are you talking about the state? So here's where we are on this. The governor has embraced the framework of all three. She's pretty much said that she's all on board with the MELT Act, and that's to identify if you're, say, an ICE agent or another federal immigration agent, your face needs to be shown. You need to have a badge identifying your name. Washington State, California, New Jersey have already passed this, but she's also embraced in the state budget pretty much the language of the other two. She hasn't come out outright and said that she will support these acts, but we can read between the lines of having talked to a couple elected officials. I think she's on board. The budget should be done, I think, by Friday. Gabe should probably know better than anybody. The state side, Friday, Monday, Tuesday.
I will personally see you.
Okay, Jim.
On the spot.
Jim.
I'm sorry, I've read all three of these bills and I have to oppose the entire scope of them. Naturalization is the purview of Congress. So Article 1, Section 8. It's left to Congress. I don't know where we get the authority as a community. First of all, I don't know why a community board is even addressing something like this, but notwithstanding. It's a federal matter. And
There's if I may,
may I finish? Sure. It's a federal matter. It was addressed by Congress. And I don't understand where the state of New York or any other state has the jurisdiction to tell federal authorities to go about conducting their business, like putting on whether or not they wear a mask, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know where that authority comes from. Well, but I know we've got a couple of lawyers here. Larry's a lawyer. Maybe I don't know who else is.
well, let me start with one. With the anti-comedy,
We have the expertise to do this. You talked about having expertise in the budget committee, looking at our handbook for new members. It doesn't make sense that we should be addressing a federal issue at a community board. It's 3 levels above our level.
it's actually a state level. I will push back a little bit. And actually, if you look at the anti-commandeering doctrine that comes from the 10th Amendment of the US Constitution, it definitely gives states the rights to separate from federal government on issues like this. So I would point out that and a couple other things. I'm not a lawyer.
To be a neo-Confederate effort.
Fine, is there any more discussion on this? Could we vote? All right, seeing no more discussion, no hands raised, please mark your digital ballot. All right.
Thank you.
Stu, do you have a report?
Sure. We had a forum last week with the Department of Sanitation, engaged with about a dozen of our district's neighborhood associations in a bid. We heard some frustration from the neighborhood groups, in part just because cleanliness is not the culture of the city. But the groups also presented something of, I think, a collective appeal to DSNY for it to treat them more as partners and as clients. So one of the sanitation delegates took what appeared to be pretty copious notes to bring back to the department's decision makers. So we're hoping to reconvene in the fall and find a degree of accommodation. So we'll see how well it works. And that'll be it for tonight.
All right, thank you. You can now submit your ballots, everyone. We've finished everything that that had a vote. And we're going to go on to Budget and Government Affairs. Steve Perez, Chair.
No. We had a very engaging discussion at our last committee meeting on the cost and availability of insurance for residential properties, which we will be probably having a resolution next month on that topic. Secondly, we did finish our committee handbook, so that was kind of approved internally for our committee. And lastly, I wanted to make sure everyone knows that the district needs statements, if your committee is going to modify them, they really do need to be done. Technically, they were supposed to be done this month. You have one more month before the summer recess, so you have one more chance to get it in. But you should really be updating those statements. That's
Okay, thank you. Housing and homelessness, Alec Militek.
Good evening, everyone. I'll keep it really brief. As Maya mentioned before, a lot of homelessness issues going on in our community district and in neighboring community districts. It seems that the new mayoral admin, as well as maybe perhaps some other local elected officials, are changing policy when it comes to homelessness issues as well as homeless shelters. So we're going to continue working as a committee, as well as with other community boards throughout the rest of the spring and the summer to kind of try to identify a collective approach on how to ensure that our homeless and unhoused neighbors receive support. We are also going to discuss next week questions as well as topics that we'd like to talk about with HPD. They indicated that they will attend our June meeting, so keep that one bookmarked. It's not every month that we have HPD, so this is sort of a unique opportunity to approach them with our questions and concerns. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have Parks and Cultural Affairs, Neil Barkley, Chair. I don't know that any.
No, you had one.
Yeah, this one's flashing.
All right, good evening. We had a really good meeting. We talked about St. Barton Park. So there is a new playground that is being put in and it is scheduled to be completed in the spring of 2027. With the closure of the ground, a challenge that we're now finding, that the community's finding, is that the kids do not have a place to play. The field, which is now turf, that is, groups often, will say purchase permits to use the turf field. And so what has happened is that, you know, the community really doesn't have access to the field. Parents came and they gave a really good presentation. You know, one of the kids spoke and, you know, the parents did really well. I mean, after it was done, I look back, you know, we get the uproar sometimes with parents, but everyone was fine. So, you know, we welcome that. And I think, we also have, we had recreation department, they came and they said that they were going to look at possible ways that, you know, the community could still have access to the field. We'd like to recognize there's a private group that is called NYC Footy. So they also purchased permits and they use the field for soccer. And what they've been doing, they've actually been splitting the field. So they'll play on one side and then the other side, they let the kids play there. So, you know, we'll see what the recreation department says, but, you know, we'll keep an eye on this. Upcoming meeting. So this one should be, and Daniel Bernstein, he's been nice enough. He's been talking about this for a couple months. Let's see, particle pollution in our district. The New York Times, they had an article in January this year, and it listed, you know, the worst areas of the city for particle pollution. Number 1 is Midtown, number 4 is Skytown, Turtle Bay. So the whole district, you know, we've got a lot of particle pollution issues. But we see an opportunity here because there is the urban forest plan that's coming out from the city. So, you know, to put it briefly, we want trees. And so Daniel will take a look at the forestry plan and we'll see where possible trees could be added to the district and, you know, we'll advocate, but.
Know what happened there.
We're out of time.
I'll keep going. So if anyone is interested, you know, you can join. That's it. I'm not gonna hold anyone. Yes.
Jim.
Walking past PS 40 the last couple of months, they have taken the small basketball court next to, Augusta St. Galvin Park. And they've converted it into basically a holding space for whatever construction they're doing. I thought it was local law 11 for public school. I don't know what's going on there. But this has been an ongoing matter with that basketball court. First Parks Department used it as the dumping ground for their equipment, and now this, whatever's happening at PS40 is using it for their purpose, storing inventory that apparently is going to go over the building. And it's been going on for several months. I didn't say anything about it before because I figured, well, you know, come spring, when people are actually out using the park, maybe it'll be cleared up. Doesn't give any indication that it's being cleaned up. I'm just wondering if your committee could look at it, or we know what the circumstances are there.
Yeah, we've been on top of that for a while. So the facade on the school, that's being worked on, and apparently it's, you know, coming to a close. We'll see when exactly, but once that is completed, then the renovation of Augusta St. Gaudens, the playground will start.
Well, I'm not talking playground, I'm talking.
No, yeah, so the basketball court. The facade, you know,
Again?
the facade of the school is being fixed.
Right.
So that's the reason why the court is shut, is they're fixing the wall.
Right
There.
But
But the Parks Department does report on this at every committee
Yeah.
meeting, so the committees, there's part of the discussion.
we did a whole building facade on a 30-story tower in Gramercy. And we did just in time delivery of the stuff, of the inventory that was required to build it. Or to replace the facade. And I don't understand why the city has to seal off a basketball court in a community district that has the least amount of park space of any in the city in order to do construction.
Yeah, that's noted. And I would just say the parents at Augusta St. Gaudens, they want the construction to go on as long as possible because they're going to lose the playground. But hopefully it's done, you know, August, September, I believe. That's what
Yeah, they've been reporting on it. It's been followed up.
right.
Great, thank you. Health, Education, Environment, Rupal Kakad, Chair.
It's gonna be, you can have Superintendent McGuire to lead our meeting. So if you want to know anything about the schools in our district, join our meeting. And we're gonna talk about the district needs statements. That's gonna be it.
Yay.
Yay. All right, and last but not least is Transportation with Jason From.
To be quick, we had DOT present about Park Avenue median redesigns. There's a survey that was included in the newsletter for public comment. For everybody to take a look at what the signs are, looking to expand them at pedestrian space and potentially a bike lane. We encourage everybody to take a look and submit feedback. We also heard from in our last meeting, the construction team behind the KIPS Day Water Main project in the area of St. Martin Park on 2nd and 1st Avenues. The latest from them is that the project is expected to go on until early 2028. We're going to be discussing next month how we might be able to help support them move that along. They had commented that they needed weekday the ability to do work during weekday hours from the restricted to only work on weekends, and that they had weekday capacity to do work that would allow them to more expeditiously complete the project. So we're going to be talking about that in our next meeting. And then lastly, some exciting news from DOT. They are bringing a bike wave signal timing to 1st and 2nd Avenues. So this is something that was implemented on 3rd Avenue north of our district when the bike lane was added to 3rd Avenue. DOT set the green lights to be consistent at a 15-mile-per-hour pace. So if you're riding bike 50 miles an hour, you would have consistent wave of green lights. This is the average speed that bikes travel, and it has DOT found that it had increased compliance with cyclists following obeying signals, and in the implementation of 3rd Avenue during the daytime, it didn't increase car or bus speeds. So they are expanding the bike wave, and we're gonna have it on, the Second Avenue between Houston and 42nd Street, and on First Avenue between Houston and 34th. Although First Avenue is only on nights and weekends north of 19th Street, not exactly sure why. But anyway, very excited about this. I think it's gonna be, a big improvement to safety for everyone, and make it easier for cyclists to use the bike lanes on the first side.
Sorry, Justin?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that, I was talking to some friends recently a little bit about community board, and they asked me, like, the first question when they found out what it was only about, like, with bike lanes, like, how to make it so that, you know, so that's consistent with traffic speed. So, like, I wanted to say that people definitely appreciate that, and something that organically people think about, so it's good.
Yeah. And it's really great if you've ever rode it on Third Avenue uptown. It's like, it makes riding so much easier, and it's really great.
All right, thank you. Board members, if you have any old or new business to state, please raise your hand. All right, okay, Jerry will now conduct the second roll call.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Old business, we had I sent correspondence on this. We had a working group to discuss Beth Israel hospital
Mhm.
and the disposition, but it's the transfer of authority.
I suggest you speak to the chair of the committee. I think
Say
it's,
again?
I suggest you speak to the chair of the land use committee, and you can discuss it in the committee.
Ad hoc committee, I don't know.
It was always before the land use of waterfront and landmarks.
Right.
And it was members of that committee.
Right.
So if it's going to be, reinstated, it would probably be part of the committee. So you can discuss it with the committee. All right.
There we are. Beginning from Z, Shuya is absent. Sarah Whittington is absent.
Absent.
I am here. James Vera. Pat Valero. Howdy. Mark is out. Mark Thompson. Samir Thanadar. Howdy. Lady Simon.
Here.
Mubin Siddiqui. Okay, wasn't sure. Sandro Sherrod. Ann Seligman. Larry Shire.
Present.
Sorry. Mariam Ruff is absent. Will Perry. Absent. Stephen Perez. Reshma Patel. Rich Mintz. Rich.
Present.
Gotcha. Alec Militek.
Present.
Alec. Fanny McKee.
Present.
Anton Wellner. Present. Sandra Leftoff.
Present.
Katie Landa, absent. Kate Kennedy. John Keller. Present. Rufo Picard. Howdy. Paige Judge. Paige was. Yeah. Yes, great.
He's here.
All right. Robbie Iqbal is absent. Gloria Haig. Justin Goldberg.
Present.
Eric Goldberg. Jason Firmowitz. Present. Barack is absent. Robert Farfan. Maya Donahue. Ready? Disman is absent. Stuart Besser is in the cloud. Waving. Jim Collins. Mr. Collins?
Yeah.
Yeah. Liz Burr. Daniel Bernstein.
Absent.
Elvie Barroso.
Present.
Cody Barrett. Yep. Will Barclay. Present. Kyle Fade is absent. And Tanya Arias.
Here.
Kevin, I'm calling you. Kevin.
And I just want to note that although Daniel isn't here this evening, he is not coming back to the board again. He has been admitted to a graduate program. So congratulations to him. Sad to see him go, but
Wow.
he got a laugh. He said he's actually not reapplying.
Too bad.
So we'll miss it.
Yeah, we'll miss him.
Our votes.
Oh,
All right.
votes.
All right, everyone, we'll call the votes now that all the ballots are in. Bulk resolutions 1A through 1J have all passed unanimously with 33 votes in favor. Bulk resolution 1K passed 27 votes in favor, 4 opposed, 2 abstentions, 0 not entitled. Bulk resolution 1L passed 28 in favor, 3 opposed, 2 abstentions, 0 not entitled. Land use resolution 2A passed unanimously, 33 votes in favor. Land use resolution 2B passed 32 in favor, 1 opposed, no abstentions, no not entitled. Land use resolution 2C passed unanimously, 33 votes in favor. Land use resolution 2D passed 30 votes in favor, 0 opposed, 2 abstentions, 0 not entitled. And lastly, public safety resolution 3A passed 29 votes in favor, 2 opposed, 2 abstentions, 0 not entitled. Sandy, back to you.
Great. All right. If there are no objections, we will adjourn the meeting. Seeing no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 8:54. Thank you.
Go get that flight. That's the day for it.